In spite of the burning heat, campaigning does not halt. Ramya had to cover some 30-odd villages. So from village to village we went, and all through she requested the villagers to vote for her in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections in order to make her their representative in New Delhi. With a lot of happiness, it was finally time for lunch and a good break. She was given a traditional welcome before entering the house. Ramya, it's been almost what? You started at around 10:30, 11, and now
we started 9:30.
9. Whoa! So 9:30, you've been standing all this while. It's 3 o'clock now, and finally you're going to have your lunch. Hungry?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
All right. Now, for some political questions, how has your experience as an MP for 6 months been so far?
It's been a learning process, and I think now, because since I just joined recently and since I've been working as an MP for the last 6 months, I know how cut off the public is from political affairs, because we're all, I think the youngsters especially today, their knowledge is just limited to headlines. Papers. Nobody has the time to read them. Nobody has the time to go, get to the root, of a subject, or even learn anything about political affairs. And this is why I know there's so much misunderstanding and misconception. Like we mentioned in the morning, like we were talking about how people are not aware of what an MP's portfolio is and what an MLA is, and also because people are not aware of how the system really functions. So it's been a learning process for me, and I want to create an awareness among the public so that they know exactly what is happening in the system and what the constitution is and things like that. I think constitution is fantastic. We have a great system in place, but the problem is the people. And that's what I think. Ideas are there, we have good schemes in place, but we have a problem with implementing, because the problem lies with the people who are implementing it. And if we want change to happen, it has to come from each one of us and the people down at the grassroots level.
Since you mentioned that about youth, you are a youth icon. Most of the youth don't trust politicians. So how will you change that?
I can understand why that they don't. In a population like India, you're bound to find all types of people, and that's the case even with politics. And I think that's the change that the Congress Party wants to bring in, and that is why Rahul's selection of candidates, especially in Karnataka, if you see, are all clean politicians. Youngsters, most. Women candidates are from the Congress, and that's the kind of change that we want, and hopefully that these people win.
You have been now in Parliament for about 6 months. What interested you the most about Parliament? Something different which politicians don't talk about?
It's the best place to be, because there are so many knowledgeable people in Parliament, who have so many different perspectives, and it's like going to a school with children from different regions of India. Not just yelling and screaming, but there are people from Rajasthan, there are people from different parts of India, and the people, you get to see, different accents, different cultures, different people with different perspectives. It's amazing, and they're so knowledgeable. So most of it, for me, it was more learning, absorbing and observing for me in Parliament, and people are very warm, irrespective of the parties that they belong to. We may have different opinions on subjects, we may have different perspectives, we may have different ideologies, but everybody is very cordial with one another, very civil.
Now, we wanted to know what she planned to do for the people in her constituency if she won, and this is what she told us.
I can only tell them what I would like to do for my constituency, which is, provide them with basic facilities which people really want, because mine is not really urban. It's more rural, just except the cities, very few. Basic facilities and transport. And since it's an agricultural belt, I want to utilize the potential that Mandya has, to have like a food park and a skill center for farmers, and also, transport that connects all the 8 taluks. And considering that Mandya is so strategically positioned between Bangalore and Mysore, there's so much that you can do with Mandya, and already the road is being upgraded to a national highway, So like that, there are quite a few. The only thing is the government has tried to do its best, and we've spread ourselves so thin. Especially with schools and hospitals, that every village has a school and a hospital. But what's happened is we don't have doctors. So we have quantity over quality. And that is something that I want to work towards, especially in the education department, because children today, they drop out of school and they're not able to compete with children from other private schools because the syllabus varies, and these children don't have any motivational factor to go to school. Look at the little kid playing with my phone, so cute. They're very smart. So we need to provide them with the good quality education. And also, because what's happening with the youngsters is they've seen their parents who are farmers into agriculture suffer. Okay, because so they don't want to do agriculture, and then they don't want to finish their studies because they can't compete, so they are unemployed, and this is one factor. The other thing is people are all migrating to Bangalore, so that is one more thing. So, and the other thing is if we insulate the farmers, there's huge potential in agriculture, which they don't realize. So these are the three things that I really want to focus on.
What do you have to say about the other candidates, especially the JDS and the BJP?
Honestly, I don't know much about them because I don't want to waste my time and energy focusing on, their characteristic or traits. Whatever they have to know about the candidates, you are there to, make it known to the people. And people already know, whatever these land scams and these quarry things that I've heard of is everything that people already know, and you people are there to let people know about the other candidates. I will not sort of, I would just want to focus on me, my work, and what I can do for the people.
And finally, are you confident of winning?
Well, I can do my best. I will work really hard, as you can see, and I will leave the rest to the people.
Food at last, yes! And we are sure Ramya too felt the same as we did then. Well, we're finally having lunch, and you can see Ramya also is having lunch. She managed to have just about a little bit of rice at around 1:15, and now it's past 3.
Actually, I didn't eat much breakfast, no? Yeah, just a bit. Yeah, and then I had some tomato bath, and then now I'm having this is the simple food that I love, Anna Saru.
When you're not on the campaign trail, what's your lunch like?
When I'm not then we're just, what are we having when we're not campaigning? We're having any food actually. Because when was the last time we did not campaign? We've been campaigning since for over a month now. And we haven't had like a single day's rest. The only time that I took off was during Ugadi, and I felt so sick, both of us. My throat completely gave up on me, and so was my back because of all the traveling. Yeah, so I haven't really had but I love the food irrespective. I like it.
What do you like?
Saru, you love it.
Leaf meals are actually one of the best.
I love it.
What do you like among what you're eating?
What do I like here actually is Mysore Pak. I love Mysore Pak.
After good lunch, it was once more back on the campaign trail. Near the Arkere village in Sriyangpatna Taluk, we found the scene really hilarious. Kids running near the campaign vehicle and behind it. And this one man riding his bullock cart, packed with little children, yelling and screaming at the top of their voices.
ಮಂಡ್ಯ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆ ಒಂದು ಯಂಗ್ಸ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡಾಗಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಗೆದ್ದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು 17ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ 6 ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ 5 ವರ್ಷದ MP ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರೋಷ್ಟು ಓಡಾಡದೇ ಇರೋಷ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಡವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲ್ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಶೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ನೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ತುಡಿತ ನಮ್ಮ MP ಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನವರು ಯಂಗ್ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಡೀ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ನ ಓಡಾಡಿ ಬಡವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಅವರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾವೇರಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ತಿಳಿದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹೋಗಿದ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಈಗಲೂ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರಿ ಶ್ರೀರಂಗಪಟ್ಟಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಗೆದ್ದೇ ಗೆಲ್ತೀವಿ.
It sort of became a custom in every village to burst a 1000 wala cracker the moment she entered and then to offer aarti to her. Well, it's almost 7 now, but Ramya's campaign is on in full swing. And you can see over there, even though it's 7, so many people out over here to support her. Women, children, all throwing flowers. Well, this is her support in Mandya. With no sign of the campaign stopping, it was now getting dark. In another village, a shamiana was placed for her to pass through, and it was such a drama for them to do so. And on the campaign proceeded with no stop at all. And everywhere it was the same. Villagers coming to see her in large numbers, women flocking to have a look at her, and children running beside and behind the open-air campaign vehicle. With the Election Commission rules stipulating that campaigning end at sharp 10 p.m, Ramya was ushered into her waiting car and they drove off. We had to somehow catch her vehicle and speak to her one last time. Finally, it's the end of day. Ramya, it's been like so many hours you're on the road. First of all, tell us, how did you manage to stand there? We sitting in the car were tired.
You were tired sitting. No, I wasn't tired standing at all. I think, you just get so carried away in the moment. And I've said this before also that, when you see people and their enthusiasm and, the kind of love that they show you, that you just don't realize that you're so exhausted. It's only when you actually finish and you wind up for the day that you realize how knackered you are. Like right now.
And now, when we were following you on the campaign trail, we saw so many women, so many children coming out. The moment you came there, everyone was there. Can you tell us something about that?
I think women and children really express themselves, and so do the youngsters. If you saw, the boys were like going ballistic. Yeah, I think the elderly people also, they sort of, would like to express themselves, but they're a little more sober and more subtle. They'll come up to you and then they'll just greet you and bless you. They don't go like all out like the children and the women and the youngsters do. Yeah.
All right. Now, this is a little offbeat question. Now, when you're not campaigning, when you're not working, when you're not acting, oh yes, before that, don't you miss acting in movies?
No, not at all. No, because I've done that for 12 years. And no, I don't really miss it.
All right. So, when you're not, I'll come back to my earlier question. So when you're not campaigning or working, what do you like to do in your spare time? Like, do you have any hobbies, any favorite serials or anything?
I would like to answer that question. I think
Well, that's Karuna. In fact,
like
yes,
to
go ahead.
sleep and sleep, because that's something that we can't get at all. It's crazy. It's been such crazy schedule. We wake up at 5, sleep at like 12, 1. So sleep.
Yeah,
is the most
sleep.
important.
She's absolutely right. In fact, we were just planning today. We were just, telling each other that after the 17th, I just want to sleep. I just want to sleep.
Don't pick up the phone,
And I don't mind even if I sort of, just throw my phone in a lake or something like that.
Thank you, and wish you all the best. In fact, now you know what Ramya actually did on the campaign trail. Started from about 9:30 in the morning. In fact, you woke up by 6 o'clock. But from 9:30 right up to now, it's past 10. In fact, 10:30, but 10 o'clock, according to the EC rules, she was supposed to stopped. And, back again on the campaign trail tomorrow. With camera person Abu Bakr Siddiq, Nolan Pinto for News 9 in Mandya.